What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all tapping in today. So the first thing you're going to seeing me do today is making some ball caps. This is a 9.5mm tube. I'm going to score and I'm going to snap this into the workable sections, and I'm going to start making some ball caps. Hey, appreciate everybody stopping by today. So what you just saw me do is I snapped this tube in half so it's more manageable to work with. I'm going to ultimately plugging it in to that end right there and making some ball caps today. If y'all don't know what a ball cap is, please drop a comment, smash some emojis, let me know, and I'll give y'all a little bit more of a description. I'm working on getting some headphones, so like a lav mic, so I can talk to y'all more clearly while I'm working and explain stuff. If you're interested in actually getting some glass lessons, not just watching me make glass, but actually me teaching you how to do this, drop some comments, let me know. Appreciate y'all stopping by today. Help me monetize this page, yo. So now that I cut these, I'm gonna polish the ends first. Then once that cools down, or as that's cooling down, I'm gonna be making this cap. So I'm gonna do the prep for the next, and then I'm gonna get started on this one. Again, my name is Zach. I'm a glass blower, if I didn't say that already. This is borosilicate COE 33. So if you watch Netflix, seen the Blown Away series type of stuff, this isn't that glass. This is definitively harder to work with. So I appreciate y'all helping me monetize this page, helping me upgrade my equipment, showing me some love. Appreciate y'all. Alright, I was just typing in a poll, so I put a poll in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think while I'm working. Unfortunately, I can't work and do this at the same time until I get one of those lav mics. So if you have any recommendations, if you have any recommendations for one of those lav mics so I could talk to y'all while I'm doing this, let me know. I just put up a poll in the comment section to let me know if y'all just prefer casual viewing or if you actually want me to teach you lessons while I'm doing this. It will determine how I spend my limited resources to make this pop, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Now I'm just getting the angle, so if you like trying to look at my laptop from afar, hold on, let me know if that's good for y'all. Alright, another thing I'm working on is getting a gimbal stabilizer so I don't have to jump up on this table and manually move this every time. I think we can zoom in a little bit more. What do y'all think? All right. I think we could start with this, right? That's not bad. All right. I forgot to turn on my oxygen. For doing this type of work, you need to be using both oxygen, concentrated oxygen, and propane. For the propane, I just use a regular barbecue grill. If you stay and watch me long enough, you're probably going to think, how is he eating through that much propane? Save some propane for the rest of us. But the truth is, this little barbecue griller can last me from days to weeks, depending on what type of flames I'm using. So I have one tip polished. I'm gently warming it up in the Bunsen burner first. There's not that kick to it, so it's not like it's punching the glass with that heat, which can cause it to crack if it's cold. So we're doing the gentle warm up first, and then we're really applying that heat. It doesn't need to be melted in, I just really need to polish it, but I always melt it anyway. Propane oxygen. Right. Actually, before I get started, I need to do one more. This is I don't know if you could tell the color. This is milky violet. Doesn't always look like it in the light. I'm gonna score and snap this one in half also, and polish the end because I have to make some lift-off caps today. If you have no idea what a ball cap is or a lift-off cap, ask away in the comments section, smash some emojis and stuff, and when I check my phone again, I'll hit you with an explanation. I like 12-inch sections. And these tubes typically come in 48-inch sections, that's 4 feet. So when they ship you this glass material, they usually cut it in half. So 24 inches, I have two 12-inch sections. And that could either be like 4 or 5 lift-off caps per 12-inch section, or it could be 2 or 3 ball caps per 12-inch section. Really kind of depends on me, how good the tubing is. A lot of the times this tubing comes in scratched. So like let's say I have this 12-inch section. Sometimes there'll be a scratch from here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here. So it's like you have to work with what you can. Because if you start with garbage, you end with garbage, and you can't be selling garbage to people. So same thing, I'm gently warming up the color in the Bunsen. This color, so the color versus clear is more prone to cracking in those high heat pressure situations, coming off from like being room temperature cold, or rather cold at room temperature. Clear is less of an issue. That would have to do with like the chemical formulations with making these colored glasses, like the irons and the metals used. I don't know what the metal or mineral is called, but some of these striking colors. So a striking color is like, let's say this starts off as purple, and then while I'm applying heat to it like I am right now, the color changes from purple to shades of blue and green. That would be a striking color. And with everything that's going on in the world right now, some of these things are getting more expensive. I just saw one of the companies that I buy glass from, North Star Glass. I don't know if y'all could hear that. North Star Glass. American colored glass rods and tubing. They're the ones that just dropped this announcement on their Instagram page. Alright. For somebody who just asked, like, is my tube off center? Y'all can see that wobbling from here, I'm pretty sure. So yes, I am absolutely going to need to address that before I get started doing the rest of the work today. Let me know could y'all hear the things that I was shouting previously when I was down there? Please comment in the section, yes, or let me know. And then I'm gonna check that on my computer real quick, and then I'm gonna fix that. And then we'll get to making the first ball cap. So while in 2 seconds, I'm gonna hop down and check my computer. Please write any questions, smash emojis, all of that good stuff. Appreciate y'all tapping in today and helping me monetize this page, y'all. Truth is, I don't even need this much of the glass sticking out. The more you choke up on it like a baseball bat, the less wobble you're gonna get. Sometimes it's my lathe, sometimes it's, and like more likely, it's the glass itself. Alright. So I can see it's kind of like bending down a little bit. It's not just flat. So I know that I need to tweak this back end a little bit. Still pretty terrible. So I'm gonna choke up first. See if this is any better. It's not great, but I can work with that. If you're a glass blower and you use a lathe and you see, you know what's going on here. I don't know if it's something that you would typically work with. Let me know in the comment section if it is. I'm gonna put these to the side so they're not in my way. But now you saw that I have the prep for this also. Alright. Appreciate y'all. Putting the Bunsen away, moving the tech that I don't need from my face right now, get that out of the way. Make sure my scoring knife is ready to rock. Make sure that my graphite paddles are cleaned off so they're not like sticking to the glass when I go to use them. I'm gonna do little flame treatment also. This is my second stage, first stage, second stage, first stage. Get my punkies in order. Alright, got a couple, put this to the side for now. I'm gonna tilt the camera angle slightly so you're focused a little bit more on this side as I drag the lathe over. Hold on 1 second, I appreciate you guys. Just changing the angle slightly. I think you're gonna enjoy this a little bit better. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. Zoom in a little bit more. Let me know if y'all like this zoomed in view better. I'm gonna hop down real quick. I'm gonna check the computer one more time. My name is Zach. I'm a glass blower, COE 33, glass blowing lathe. What's up? Appreciate y'all. Show me some love, emojis, whatnot. But I'm gonna check the computer. If you have a question, let me know right quick. Yeah, right quick. Thanks, man. Alright, so the oxygen is definitely way too high on this. You see that? I want it just like hair out. Boom. Sharp flame. Right? I'm picking away the garbage. Now I'm going to pop the hole. If you're not sure if the tube you're working on has like scratches with outs that can be hard to see, while I had the flame to it and I was puffing, it's like a flashlight going through and you can kind of see if it's something you want to work with or not. I'm going to wind up giving a bunch of these clear ball caps away for free with some of my online orders. So for me, for these right now, my only focus is making sure that it functions perfectly. That means perfectly smooth gyrations and that the airflow is on point, not too airy, not too restricted. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do, because this tube is larger than that tube, is flare the tube open so they're large enough where they can actually meet and kiss and connect. Alright, so this tube is 5 millimeters. It's incredibly hard to work with because of how thin the wall is. So that outer diameter is 5 millimeters, the inner diameter, right? I think the wall thickness is 1 millimeter or less. I think it might be 0.7 millimeters. So when you're doing something like this, you have to know what you're doing and you have to be fast. You have to be able to identify. And this was not a great flare, guys, to be honest. But perfectly straight. I kind of want to take the phone down so y'all can see these angles a little bit better, but it's like a hassle to get it back up there. So for now, making sure my flame temperatures and pressure and sharpness is correct. You can tell literally by the flame needle for sharpness and pressure, and you can tell by the color of the flame for the heat. And then once it's to the glass, you can like cause an effect. You'll see how it's actually melting. I like to spin it fast, like really fast when I'm making ball caps. I don't know if other people do it like this also. 1 second. Alright, 1 second, having a sip of my coffee, folks. In the meantime, please ask me some questions on the comment section, because I can talk to y'all while I'm doing this. I'm sorry if that was a little boring. Alright, give me a second. So for y'all don't know, I am literally, when I wake up and I walk out of here, you know, and I just turn everything on, I make coffee, I might have a smoke while I'm working. So I'm trying to show y'all like my day, you know, like my whole day. So I prep some of that, I prep some of the glass. I'm stepping off for like 10 seconds because there are things you can't do if you want to get monetized in front of the camera. So if y'all give me like 20 seconds, in the meantime, talk to me, ask me questions, let me know what's going on in y'all's lives. Where are you coming from? I don't even know where y'all are coming from. I'm in the US, I'm based in Virginia. My glassblowing friend that was a little salty just now. Where are you from, fam? Are you a glassblower? Are you familiar with this stuff? you just hating on me? Alright, so just a second, guys. First, I'm getting my Zen, and then we're going in. Yeah, so, I mean, no. Right now, I'm just doing this because I stepped away, and it's something visually to look at, but typically this is unnecessary. When I have my Bunsen burner out, and I'm using larger glass, that is for warming up the glass. Alright, I think that's enough. I don't know about you, but I psych myself up before I dive into anything when I'm on the lake. Make sure my joggers are tied. Shake out any nerves. Wipe off my mouthpiece, because my mouthpiece is like almost always on the floor. Step on it all the time, kind of gross, but whatever. Alright, so this just got janky super fast. My flame is way too hot. So, people mess stuff up all the time in glass. One of the best skills you could have is knowing how to fix your mistakes. And right now, you see me focusing on the bottom part of this ball because that's where it's going to be making contact to start the gyration. And as I condense and puff open, I'm making like a consistency throughout the glass that's going to make it stronger. Well, this will be interesting. And yes, for the record, I think I messed this one up, and I'll tell you why afterwards. It's just a little bit more like of a bell, like a curve than a ball towards the bottom of it. And I'm now also realizing I never turned on my ventilation for today. That's terrible. That's the air intake hole. Polishing the neck a little bit. Pulling it like a sucker. I cannot believe I forgot to do that. I cannot believe I forgot to turn on my vent. That is wild. Alright. Ball cap. You see how I'm saying towards the bottom? Like I wanted it to be a ball, but this could actually still spin amazingly smoothly. So I popped the air intake on it. When I detach that tube, hold on. Can you see that nipple? That's from where, sorry, my hands are shaking. That's from where I detached that tube. Those are the two Marias I pushed. That's the ball. That's the neck I was pulling to make it a little bit longer and also polishing it. And then, dang. I don't know if you can see, like the adjustment on this is sucking. That's the air intake hole that I popped. This is a ball cap. So when you're inhaling, air travels through that pathway, through that tube, and then through the device. Oh, these aren't sluggers. These are scraps. Ooh, got a glass blower in here. All right, nah, bro. Those are scraps from tubes, right? So milky violet, couple inches left for this section. So what I'll wind up doing is I'll turn it into a base for an E-rig topper, right? I should finish this cat first. God damn, dog, you're distracting me, man. Hold on, let me. Damn. All right, so now I'm gonna put this in the bunsen for a little bit, even though I probably don't have to. But let's finish that up right quick. Just in case. And this was the warm-up stuff we were talking about. I can't believe I forgot my ventilation. How many crack pipes per minute? Content warning city. Yeah, appreciate you, Jack. It's not a crack pipe. Goddamn, not bad. Goddamn. What's wrong with the little orange plastic cap that comes on top of rigs? I have no idea what you mean by that. Content warning city. What's wrong with the little orange plastic hat? I don't know what that is. You gotta be careful with ventilation. I guess this is lab glass in a way. Every time you sesh, it is an experiment. Appreciate that, man. Butt plug? No, honestly, there are glass blowers that make butt plugs, but I would never do that because it needs to be, I mean, alright, would you want to make something that somebody's going to be shoving up their butt, and what if it breaks, right? You want to take on that responsibility? I don't. So I don't know, but there are glass blowers that do stuff. I mean, there are glass blowers that do a ton of stuff, you know? Well, I mean, I am telling you, that's the issue with that. I would never do that, bro. Right, so taking away the nipple. Cold graphite and glass is going to leave a mark. So I don't know if you can see, I just wiped it off on my hands. I'm going to warm it up, a little flame polish right quick. This is like graphite, like your pencil paddle. But now I have to melt the sand. Take away the nipple, that is the most, I don't know. So I'm trying to melt where I just pick that nipple primarily. That's where aesthetically it's not smooth. Keep the middle, side, smush it. Keep the middle. You can see when the center starts to melt in with the rest of it. Right, side, smash. And when I say smash, I mean like pretty much just gently hold your paddle still there. Now polishing off again, marks by the graphite paddle, smooth off the handle, boom. Alright. That, my friend, is all that. I don't need to anneal this. I could just put this on my table if I wanted to. But besides gyrational mobility, smoothness, and airflow, one of the things I pride myself on for these calves is it being drop durable. So I can take it and on like this concrete behind me, I'm gonna smash it on the ground and it's just gonna bounce and I'll pick it back up. It's not actually gonna break. But alright, so this right here. Zoom out right quick. Alright. Sorry, y'all. So basically what I'm gonna do now is hold up. I'm gonna walk this over to my oven, which is, so that's the propane I'm using in my bar. Yo, 525 people, throw me some thumbs, throw me some emojis, help me smash some likes or something, help me monetize this, bro. All right, anyways, so that oven, big oven, is at 1050 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm about to go chuck this cap in there and we're gonna let it anneal and increase that strength under the Alright, Joe, smash some thumbs, hit me with some emojis, help me with some engagement, follow me, check out my shorts and lives, and stay with me as we make some more glass. Appreciate y'all. Where is everybody coming from today? I'm trying to figure out the best times to post, to do these live streams, you know? So it's like if everybody is over in like Germany, I think that's a 6-hour time difference. If people are in the US, maybe I should just put, the conversation. Okay, all right. So we were talking about those bottoms before. Take this out real quick. Right, so those are the scraps from tubes, from like toppers that I make. Right, so I only just started doing really like American color headies, like blown out tubes and rods. Some of those are UV reactive, really nice colors, right? But I was just working with stock import tubing. Handle up with 12 millimeter or 9.5, push the Maria, size the bottom when you detach, you know, pop your intake hole, score, snap, polish, and bend the tip, and like that's your E-rig topper. So right now I'm just like, dude, all I need is like this amount of tubing to push the Maria, open that hole so it's just ready for me to connect, have enough space for my stopper. You need, if people don't know, so like this, right? Rubber stoppers like this, because you need pressure. So like when I'm trying to puff something out, if there's nothing there to stop that air, like how am I gonna puff a ball? It's just gonna blow out the other end. So you need something to block that off. And what we use here is like a plug. This one has a hole in it, but you plug the back, and that's how you're able to puff into it. So smash some emojis, hit me with some comments, show me some love if y'all like these tips and this info. So you see how it's inside of the glass? If you don't have enough tubing, when this is thousands of degrees hot, you're gonna start like smoking that and like getting that black, and it's gonna stink, and like black stuff is gonna get all in the tube. So it needs to be long enough to be able to do that, but it doesn't need to be so long that you can make like a ton of attachments with it. So that's what I have been now repurposing this prep for. So I don't know if y'all have done like a little studio tour with me, but one of the biggest parts of like glass blowing is doing prep. So I have a bunch of pre-made tubing, different sizes, 9.5, 12 millimeter, 6, 5, bunch of 38 millimeter different color tubing. The bottom row is stuff that I'm making by hand. So that's handmade color American headies and rods that you're gonna see me doing blowouts with. In my toolbox right here, right, I have a bunch of pre-made joints. I've been sitting on these for like years. No idea what I'm gonna do with these. Why does everybody go to crack when it comes to glass? This could be laboratory equipment. This is scientific glassware. Like, if you don't know that, this is literally scientific glassware. Beakers, research, science, experiment, college, level, you know, I don't even know. I'm tired, y'all. But crazy. I feel like we need to be more about that than like, let's talk about crack, right? Other pre-made joints. Pre-made water diffuser even, right? So you could buy, so like, I don't know if you know what like a shower head perk is or a tree perk. There are different types of water diffusers. So like, you can even buy a pre-made shower head perk. So that's one of the other things that's gonna be in the rotation for making water toppers. I prep the base, boop, attach that, then slide a can on top of that. Then you slide your tip on, and now you have a water topper, you know? And like, boom, easy. And maybe you charge like another 50, 100. People charge a stupid amount for some of this stuff, and I have no idea how they either get away with it or like how you just like maybe have the cojones to be like, this is $15,000 or something for something that's kind of simple. Not everything is like that, but so who knows? Maybe that'll be a way to step up, you know, my stuff. Then over here, that's not a grow tent for like marijuanas. This is a temperature consistency enclosure for my 3D printer. And if I decide that I am going to be using any filaments that off-gas toxic fumes, like ASA, ABS, anything with the carbon fiber filaments, right? So you have my air filter, suck it out, carbon filter shoots it out to under my main vent. So everything is healthy. Yeah. And then the next thing I'm gonna be working on while I'm trying to do this monetization thing. So I realized that like this gimbal can plug into there, right? So I'm gonna be able to, I found this one online called like the Hohem 7, where it has a remote control that actually you could take off of this. So while my phone is plugged in from up there, I could have my remote down here and like change the angle. How dope is that? And then I'm gonna get some headphones. I don't know if y'all have any recommendations, but I was thinking about either the Lark M2 or like the DJI, I think I'm saying it right, Mic Mini. So if you have any recommendations between those, let me know. Can I fabricate a Band-Aid? I mean, I don't know. I honestly, wait, hold on, okay. Mute button is free, friendly, people are saying crap shit or just, oh, okay, hold on. Do you write this down? Do I write what down? I don't know. I have like stuff with measurements and stuff like that, but I don't really refer to it anymore. I kind of have done this for so long, so many times, at least for like this stuff, you know? If you're talking about the research for like how I'm gonna be doing my setup and stuff, I don't know, I'm just kind of doing the research, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna set up for the next glass cap, right? Get my lathe spinning. We still got 200 of y'all. I appreciate like 200 thumbs, 200 emojis, 200 subs, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all helping me make this happen, especially with how awful Instagram has been to all of us. I actually do have a blowout section prepped. This is the secret white rod that blows out to like a really awesome kind of transparent see-through blue. And I connected it to a 12 millimeter transparent light blue handle. And since I have some of these bases prepped, y'all could watch me attach, detach, size, puff out the air, and then chuck it in the kiln. So if y'all want to see me do something like that, honestly, I was going to focus on caps today, and like ball caps and lift-off caps, but if y'all want to see me make like the topper for one of those devices, drop some comments, smash some thumbs, hit me with some emojis. Alright, putting this back for now. Alright. Let's get this next, right? So prepping, ready to go. I have the next one, ready to go. And I accidentally pulled that out, so I will have to do this one more time. Right. How's everybody doing today? Where's everybody coming from? Let me know where y'all coming from today. Alright, so I don't. So I was talking about the silicone, you know, adapter before. This is the blow hose adapter, so I could plug my arrow into it. So now it's connected. So when I blow in through this mouthpiece, it's gonna puff out through there, you know, and this is how I'm blowing air through the glass. So if you watch me, I'm gonna put this back in and adjust this. Smash some likes for me, y'all. I'm giving y'all gems today. You know, I'm not doing the school account or whatever I've been seeing infomercials from. Everything is as straight as possible. Or at least straight enough. I think at this point, clear is my least favorite glass to make caps with. It's just harder to tell, I feel like. Alright, so let me adjust the camera angle again for y'all. Alright. Alright, let me look at my computer. See, this is why that Hohem device would be so good, is because it has like a little preview on the screen also. So like while I have the remote down there, I could actually like see what's going. Alright, or maybe that's only if you're connected to the app. I don't know, I have to research it. Let me go check my laptop for the angle, see if it's good. If you like this angle, smash some comments and emojis and whatnot, and when I hop down there and check, I'll just leave it. Appreciate y'all tapping in today. I'm Zach, I'm a glass blower. This is borosilicate COE 33. If you watch that Netflix show Blown Away series, this is not the same type of glass, that's soft glass. I think this is probably harder to work with. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Let me know where y'all coming from today. Help me monetize this page, how about that? Help me get off of Instagram, how about that? Right. I see some like chipped piece over there, so score it real quick. Snap that right off, then we're good to go. Yes, I have cut myself and hit my hands with the flame so many times. I am perfectly comfortable with my spatial awareness. And even with this, sometimes, like you see this right here, sometimes it's spinning and you're so close. I don't know if you're a glass blower and you've ever done this, but it hits your knuckles or hits your hands so hard. Sucks. Alright, let me check the angle real quick on the camera. Grab the mic, maybe. So I don't know if y'all heard me previously, but I don't need this much of the tube sticking out. If I'm only working with this much at a time, there's no need for that much space, because the more that's open, the more chance there's going to be a wobble. So I'm going to choke up on it. Make sure I'm Gucci in the back one more time. I wonder if you can see it up there. Wobble. Adjusting the silicone nesting egg adapters in the back. Alright, so one thing to do also, I don't know if you could see this wheel, right? But I'm going to be pulling in this direction while I'm pushing the adapter in this direction, so I don't keep pushing my glass towards that other wheel. Or better yet, have my hand on top of this right here. Got a little wobble, but it's a lot better, folks. Alright, while I have a sip of my coffee, appreciate y'all staying with me today as I make some ball caps. I might make a couple more of these. If y'all want to see me do a smash test, let me know. And no, not really. So in regards to the gas, propane, like just doing this, a barbecue griller could probably last me over a week. Maybe more. It's not like I'm blowing glass 24/7. Like, you know, like all throughout the day. I'm just doing this a couple hours a day. And as far as the oxygen, so this is propane and oxygen, I have a self-generating oxygen machine. So there are two like tanks that essentially pull in air, just ambient oxygen air. They concentrate it, like filter, concentrate it, and then they push it into a tank. My regulators, oxygen regulators, tap into that tank. So every time I dip below a certain like pressure, right? So it's like a volume of gas. It goes by pressure to tell how much is still in there. It'll automatically start filling up, and it costs pennies to fill that tank up. So in a typical day, like if I'm going at it, you know, like I'm making a lot of those toppers, it might fill up twice in a day. So at the end of the day, when you're talking about like a month of gas and Glassblowing, for me now, might be like 80 bucks in propane and like, I don't know, like 10, 20 bucks in oxygen, maybe less. Relax, man, I'm having a sip of coffee. So if you don't know, in 2018, I released the first aftermarket glass attachments and accessories for the Puffco Peak and the Focus Picardo. Put out the first stabilizer bases, tethers, dry top, wood connect. Like most of the glass things you see other people making are iterations of things that I've released, which is totally okay for the most part. And now I'm trying to do things a little bit more artistic, like the handmade colors, but Puffco, my buddy and I, Cole, we started this company called CC Glass. When we released one of the first attachments for the Puffco Peak, we got a lot of hate for it, there was a little bit of drama, and then the Puffco Glass Open was created to support glass motors. So I have a hand in that happening also. Also, I'm going to work on getting something. They're called Diddy clips, like D-I-D-D-Y clips. And this way, when I see like going on my second stage and whatnot, it's not going to be like blinding fire for y'all. By the way, I appreciate y'all helping me monetize this page. Smash some like buttons, subscribe, start watching my YouTube shorts, drop some comments, smash those thumbs. I would really appreciate it. Alright, glass from the last time I did it. And then I popped the hole. You have to make sure you're breathing, your breath is consistent. You want to pop an even hole, have it also be straight. You don't want the hole to like flare open because you're like pumping the ball. Now I need to flare open the other end so it's large enough where they can meet in the middle, not having a small tube like slide inside of the big hole. Saw how I moved the plane depending on what part of that process I was in. I think maybe I should do some lessons. I need to have different angles and I'll give like a real good like voiceover explanation of all the things I'm doing. If y'all think that's something you would be interested in, drop a comment, let me know. Making sure my speed is good. My plane is what I want it to be. Making sure my paddles are what I need them to be. Alright, smash some thumbs, hit me with some emojis, show me some engagement. This is the cap I had just made. Those are the Marias I had pushed. That's the from the tube that I had just torn away. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick away that nipple with my punty. So it's like as the glass gets really hot, I start to, I sticks in that glass and I start to pull it away. And then I'm gonna take my paddle, and once I kind of melt all of that back in so it's even, I'm gonna paddle it flat. So let me know what y'all thinking. Let me know if y'all like what I'm doing today. If you like the angles I've been hitting, if you like the info, just everything, yo. Smash them thumbs, smash that like, hit me with the follow. Watch some of my other reels or lives or whatever, even if it's only for like 20 seconds. Help me get them numbers up. Appreciate everybody tapping in today. Let me know where y'all coming from. Where's everybody coming from today? I'm in the US, I'm in Virginia. My name is Zach, I'm a glass blower. This is borosilicate COE33. No, this is not for meth or crack, anything like that. I'm actually starting to think of getting into making cups, like wine glasses, drinking cups, maybe some shot glasses. Let me know what y'all think about that. Some heady American color cups. Now it's like even with that. Now I want to melt the middle in consistently with the rest without overheating it, because I don't want the second bump to melt in with the first bump. It will ruin that aesthetic. But I need to keep the middle and the sides to kind of smush it flat. That center, the side a little bit. Flat. Perfect. Now I'm just going to polish the back end one more time if there's any graphite parts, just to make sure it's super smooth. Alright. That is a cat. So now what I'm gonna do, if y'all saw me do this the last time, I don't need to do this per se, but I'm going glassblowing too. I don't know if y'all can see the ball cap that we made. Well, we'll see. Oven is 1050 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the annealing temperature for glass. I'm gonna leave it in there for hours. Makes everything like molecules conform, like everything is more trying to use a word for it. Symmetry isn't the right word. Consistent throughout makes it stronger. Alright, let's make one more ball cap and then let's switch to, because I really am not a huge fan of making these clear ball caps anymore with this size tubing, with this size needle. I used to do it all out of 7mm, right? Which was also, or 6mm rather, which was also pretty challenging, but I found it to almost be a little bit easier than this with keeping it like uniform and clean when it comes to intensity. Right? Have another tube prepped. I'll fix that angle for you. Alright, hold up. So do I notice some buck on this tube? Iso alcohol, 99%. Make sure it's not too hot. If it starts trash, it'll finish trash. You always want to make sure that the glass you're working with is clean to the best of your ability. I know it sucks I keep taking this down and putting it back up, but you can see that, correct? It's not flat like this. You can see it tilted. So when I am saying like there are signs you know it's not going to spin straight, that's like one of the first signs. This needs to like be flat, sitting like that straight, and that's how you know it's going to be straight. Or at least that's one of the ways you can know something like that. If I haven't said so, appreciate y'all tapping in today. 140 of y'all, only 60 thumbs. Smash them thumbs, yo. Show me some love, show me some support. Help me monetize this page. Help me step my game up. Help me step my tools up. Help me get off Instagram. Fam, I'm gonna be getting one of those like mini lavalier mics. I was thinking about the DJI mic, the mini mic, or the Hollyland M2. Those seem to be like the best sort of budget mics to get, and like I don't need anything fancy, you know. I think y'all be able to hear me pretty well. You know, it's crazy. I didn't even lock this. I completely forgot. I just put that up there. Alright. appreciate everybody tapping in today. One of the things I would really love to know is what time do y'all start usually like checking out YouTube? I'm trying to figure out the best times to go live. So let me know. Let me know where y'all are coming from. Let me know when you think people around you are typically like doing this YouTube thing. Appreciate the pro tips. Actually, so while you give me a second to have some coffee, what have y'all been up to today? How's your day been today? While I'm having a sip of coffee, let me know what you've been up to today. How's your day been? Anything crazy going on in your life? My dad, so if you're on check out on YouTube, iDreamology, like iDreamology. My dad is 70 years old and he's starting a new music label. He's in the music business, like a publisher, producer. And I was talking to him for a long time about doing some like animated stuff, trying to get on Netflix, WWE. And he finally started working with somebody that's helping him do some like animated stuff, and I am super stoked about it. So check out my dad, that would be awesome too. I'll type out his, maybe I should include a link on my page also to his. Appreciate all the love you show me, all the love you show my family. Know that I take all the info I get that helps me monetize this and I share it with the other glass blowers that are, I guess willing to hear me out and listen. So let's get back into it and like a minute. Alright, man, who's still with me? Smash some thumbs for me, man. We still got 134 of you. I know some of y'all have been riding with me like all day today so far. Appreciate y'all hitting those thumbs, and it is meaningful. Engagement is meaningful. Like going past that 30 seconds, staying with me is meaningful. I don't know what else you listen to on YouTube, but I listen to like a lot of prison podcasts. And I gotta tell you, I find myself listening through the people's commercials nowadays. I don't know if it's because I started doing YouTube, but it's like, make your money, man. Like, I'm looking at your stuff. I don't have to pay for it, really. I just let them go. Am I crazy? Do you do that? I'm just gonna adjust the angle real quick. I do appreciate everybody tapping in today. Again, my name is Zach. I'm a glass blower. This is borosilicate COE 33. This is a lamp working lathe. Appreciate everybody showing me love, smashing thumbs, smashing emojis, hitting me with some engagement, watching my stuff. So while I was popping that open, I know there's a big mark there and there now. So here I gotta blow my nose. Appreciate all of y'all stepping in today. Appreciate all of y'all being in with me today. My name is Zach. I'm a glassblower. This is the ball cap that I've been making. Now to pick away that nipple, paddle that flat, stick that in the oven. Appreciate y'all stopping in with me today. Let's put this back up. Y'all have any questions for me? Let me know. Where y'all coming in from today? Where's everybody from?